Alicia Bravo, it's delightful to meet to be able to connect with you again and enjoy a conversation about why you decided to participate in this year's book put out by kind of brought together by Sharyn Jordan, um, the Imaginist, Fairytales, Fables and Folklore. You're writing the chapter two, and let's talk about what's the name of your chapter.
Amyrrah and the Magic Mirror.
Ooh, I like that. Amyrrah and the Magic
Yes.
Mirror. Wow. And what is who is Amyrrah and why did you choose that name for her? And what is she trying to teach us?
Amyrrah is, she is a princess, and what she does is she kind of overcomes life challenges, events that happened in her life, and she became this kind of all-knowing, wise leader and ruler in the land. And she comes out with helping others through her magic mirror. And
Ooh,
so by our own reflection and looking deep inside of ourselves is where we mostly find our own answers to our own problems in our life and problem solving. Through her, she overcomes such challenges in her life that she becomes victorious and becomes like this wise seer.
that sounds amazing. I had somebody tell me that your husband decided that this book should be for Disney.
Yes, yes, it kind of is. Yes, it should. It's kind of like got that Disney connotation to it. And the difference is, though, what he did mention to me is he said, "Well, there's no, man in her life that rescues her." And I'm like, "No, this is all kind of an own personal venture of
Personal
her,
journey.
her own personal journey, and she comes through basically saving herself. Saving herself from her own demise, her own thoughts, her own judgment upon herself."
And isn't that it has such correlation to our own personal lives, because nobody truly can save us. We have to step up and make decisions and choose that we will thrive and be happy and choose to make really change our lives for whatever we've gone through.
Well, exactly. And so Amira helps others. She becomes this wise seer to become in helping others through the magic mirror so
That,
that people can see themselves, who they truly are.
wow, that's beautiful. How did she become your hero?
She became my hero. I would say it was kind of going through these challenges that she was overcoming in her life, and being able to see that is something that I was able to see in my own self, like see my own self there, and able for me to become my own challenges through seeking those answers inside of myself. So her doing that became my hero. I could see that in my own self. And it's something that kind of is um, ethereal. It's something I can always reflect on. It's something that I can always say, wow, Amira overcame that. Amira did this.
Right. Yes.
And it often reflects as I look in the mirror to remember that, or to look deeper inside myself and find those answers. What am I seeking now? What is it that's going on inside of me now? What's happening that I'm feeling this way?
Right.
And how can I find the answer instead of looking to others, or for having others fulfill those things inside of me?
Yeah.
It's looking inside of myself instead of looking at for others.
Beautiful. That is so beautiful. And you know, I think for all of us, we oftentimes we do reach out to others to kind of figure out what's going on, you know, and yet we do have the answers within us, and that's beautiful. What was it like to write from a place of make believe and fiction, in it's not fiction, but kind of in a fairy tale type of a manner, compared to the nonfiction, I'm going to share my story type of journey?
And it was a lot of fun. You know, it was easy for me. It wasn't difficult. It was easy. It was like, ooh, this is exciting. This is going to be fun. And it was about, the book Imaginist. It was really using my imagination, really being able to see it. So I I love castles and cathedrals.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of on my bucket list to go do a tour of castles and cathedrals because
How fun.
yes, I love castles. So I could really connect with the Imaginist in um, taking a castle, right? And and putting her there and seeing building from having a king and a queen and a castle and having balls and parties and that sort of thing.
And all
So
the fun things.
yeah, all the fun
So,
things, and then there's always that mystery. Then there's the mystery of the castle. You
right,
know,
absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
the new discoveries, the things that you didn't know, and the treasures that are hidden from many generations, and you know, all the cool things that can happen from a castle.
exactly, exactly. And then there's magic. There's magic that's attributed to it, and there's something mystical and magical about it. And so,
So, you know, I have many authors that I work with, and um oftentimes they'll start out gun ho and just so excited to bring a book to the world, but the actual process of bringing that book, it gets stopped, and sometimes it takes a couple of years. I know authors that one of them that I have, he started this process 5 years ago, and I'm like, okay, let's get this done now. You know, how is it different? How did you go about creating an environment for yourself where you could just sit down and be quiet and tap into the imaginative part? And what's the setting for your writing?
the setting for my writing, which is really wonderful that you asked that question. I have a beach home in Mexico, and there I was having some trouble. Just wasn't coming to me. And then I was out on the beach. It was very, very early in the morning, very early, like 4 a.m. And I
Wow,
woke up and I was just out there, and just the weather was perfect. The stars were still out.
it was quiet.
It was quiet and there was no disturbance at all. And all I could hear was the beach waves coming and going. And then I get this download, this wonderful kind of sensation of where all this book just came. It just came.
Wow.
And it was in my thoughts. It was there, and I was like, where am I going to go with this? All this stuff I have inside of me, where am I going to go with this? And so the download came, and then I just took a pen and pad and just started writing. And I
Mm.
want to say that my writing style is more freestyle, where I just take a book, my pad and my pen, and begin to write and just write it out. And it just kind of comes and it flows. And then I can then take that information and put it all together, later. But get that download on paper, just get it there.
Just let it go, just write freely and let it just roll. Yeah, awesome. And you know, the editing process is, you know, after you've written like that, sometimes that is humbling, because you're kind of like reading through this. One of the things I always ask my authors to do is to take whatever they've written and read it aloud, because then it becomes way more part of you, and you find where there needs to be, little connecting things that just make it all make sense.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, and it did. It just came and it was just there and it was wonderful.
that's beautiful. So, what would you hope that somebody that picks up this book and reads your chapter, what do you hope they walk away with?
I think to really look at themselves and for a moment, not without judgment, look at yourself in the mirror without judgment and look deep inside yourself and see what's there when there's no judgment.
Mm,
Like really inside who you are, who's what's going on in that moment where you might feel like if you need to seek help or you're feeling, even joyful, looking inside yourself and giving you those wonderful positive affirmations of who you really are
mm.
instead of negative affirmations that we mostly give ourselves when we look in the mirror.
Uh, we do. We really do. And it's a journey to kind of stay in the joy of it all, and understanding our worth and all the things that are so important. Yeah.
Exactly. It's really about our self-worth because we look in the mirror so often, and I hear this a lot. And this is what was so inspiring is because with the work that I do, people sit in my chair every day and look in the mirror. And the first thing I hear are just all the judgments they have about themselves.
Right.
We don't even sometimes get to their what they're there for because that mirror invokes this stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do with all of this.
It's like, oh dear.
Yeah, I don't even know what to do with all of this. So it's like looking at yourself in a different light and not being so judgmental. you
Right.
know. And generally, after the end of the session or the end of doing their hair, they're feeling lighter. They're not so judgmental about themselves. But it's kind of like really looking at yourself and looking at all the wonderful things that you have, the positive things about you
Mhm.
that make who you are. We are all here for a purpose. We all serve a purpose.
Absolutely.
And our worth is so much more than we think it is. You know.
So true. So
Mhm.
true.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I haven't thoroughly read. I've been putting the book together as the chapters come in, and I haven't had a chance to just sit down and just really take it in. So I'm really looking forward to being able to just bask in the amazing of what the authors in this book, yourself and all the others, that have put into this. And I'm feeling very thrilled because I've been also doing these interviews, and I think I'm the one that gains the most because I get to have these wonderful conversations with each one of you. So
Yes, you
thank you
do.
for all that you contribute to the world, and for holding that space for others to take a good look at themselves and say, yeah, I am worth something, you know,
Yes, I am worth something. And so,
and
and
a lot of something.
it is. And it's just, it is kind of, I want to say, a book about our self worth, and who we are.
Mhm.
And moving forward with facing those challenges in our life that are going to get us to the place of where we feel that we are worth something, that we are,
Yeah.
and knowing that you are worth it.
That's awesome. Well, I hope your day is just magical and wonderful, just like this chapter you've written, just like you are. And thank you for taking the time. I know we had some issues trying to get the Zoom right without it freezing up, and so I'm delighted we got to finally have this beautiful conversation.
Yes. And thank you so much, Becky. And thank you for, making that time for me. Thank you.
That's awesome. We'll
Mm.
have a lovely day.
All
Make
right.
it your best day ever.
Exactly. Okay. Bye.